Question says, which of the following is the most likely outcome of a cross between two heterozygous tall plants? So when we are crossing two heterozygous, it's a very simple question. We have mixed up some easy questions and some difficult questions. So it's a very straightforward, very simple question. It says that two heterozygous tall plants. It means we are talking about capital T small t cross with capital T small t. When we cross these two plants, then obviously in the next generation we will get capital T, capital T small t, and small t. These would be tall, these would be short. Ratio would be 3/4 to 1/4. So among them, the 3:1 ratio, if we look at it, then that nearest ratio to 3:1 is coming in option number B. So your answer is B, 3:1 ratio. Okay, so there was nothing much in this question. So we move on to question number 8. Question number 8, it says, in a cross between two black Labrador retrievers, the phenotypic ratio of the offspring is 9 black puppies, 3 chocolate puppies, and 4 yellow puppies. Okay, in these questions purposely I have kept the question such a way that the ratios are very evident to you from the question itself, but sometimes you may get questions where these numbers won't be directly 9, 3 or 4. You have to deduce this ratio. For example, in our question number 7, here we were seeing 76 tall and 23 short. It was not straightforward 3:1. They are near to 3:1. But in this question 8, we have directly given that the ratio is 9:3:4. So this is an example of the options are given. So obviously again 9:3:4, as we just discussed, it's a case of recessive epistasis. So it is a case of epistasis. What are the other options if we just look at them? One is partial recessiveness, incomplete penetrance, or incomplete dominance. All these cases, incomplete dominance, incomplete or partial recessiveness, they both are almost the same. So in incomplete dominance or partial recessiveness, you get the ratio of 1:2:1, in which case one particular allele is not completely dominant over the other allele. And in incomplete penetrance, it's a phenomena involved in dominant pedigrees where an individual having a genotype is not showing the phenotype of dominant trait. So it means a person having a dominant genotype is recessive in phenotype. That's the case of incomplete penetrance or non-penetrance, and that's seen in dominant pedigrees. In this case, it's not a case of incomplete penetrance, it's a clear case of epistasis, and to be very particular, it's a case of recessive epistasis. Okay, and that we have discussed in earlier question. Okay, so the next question, a plant producing white flower with white seed coat, which is dominant. So it's given that white flower and white seed coat. We are talking about two phenotypes. One is flower color, one is seed coat color. And it's given that these are dominant, was crossed with a plant producing violet flowers with gray seed coat, which is recessive. So this is dominant for both the traits, this is recessive for both the traits. Upon selfing out of 144 F2 progeny plants, the number of plants continuing to produce violet flowers with gray seed coat will be. So in this question they are asking that how many of the next progeny plants will have violet flowers and gray seed coat in F2 also. So if we see this question here, when we are crossing white flower and white seed coat plant with a violet and gray seed coat plant, this is dominant for both, this is recessive for both. Just write them in terms of symbols instead of writing the whole thing. So in symbol, normally in genetics what we prefer, we take the recessive character. So violet, and so dominant we denote by capital V and recessive we denote by small v. So we are crossing capital V and capital G, that is violet and gray, with small v, small g. This is violet and white. Oh, sorry, this one is white and white, and this is violet and gray. If we cross them in F1, we will get all capital V, capital G, small g. simple Mendelian dihybrid cross. So if we self this one in F1, in F2 we will get capital V dash capital G dash. By dash I mean it could be dominant or it could be recessive, either. Capital V dash small g small g, small v capital G, and small v small g small g, and we get them in ratio of 9:3:3:1. In the question what we are interested in this progeny in F2 which are showing violet flowers and which has gray seed coat. So these are 1/16 of the F2 progeny. And the question is given F2 progeny has 144 organisms. So it means 144 into 1/16. So if you do that, then 144 into 1/16 is coming to approximately 9. So the answer in this case is 9. So you get 9 progeny in the F2 which will continue producing violet flowers and gray seed coat. So option number D is the answer here.